give it up to the youth. Loyal to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins, that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we run it, your squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Our pedigree's deep with pros in abundance, get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming. Let's give it up to the youth, loyal to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins, that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we run it, your squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Our pedigree's deep with pros in abundance, get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming.
What's up, Miami Hurricane fans? Alright, this video is late, but better late than never. The Miami Hurricane finally beat the Clemson Tigers after 13 years. Finally beat the Clemson Tigers. And guess what? We did it with a backup. Now, some gonna say Clemson ain't the Clemson team from years, but hey, nevertheless, you finally got the monkey off your back that you have been waiting for years. Now, some say that Miami had a shot last year, but the team wasn't as good. And the main thing in this game that I was thinking about is the offensive line of the Miami Hurricanes, which Mario Cristobal built. He built the defense. The defense was sound and good. Now, Clemson only had 20 points, but guess what? That only came in overtime because the game was tied 17-17 in overtime, the first overtime. Then they tied up 20-20, and then Miami went on to win it 28-20 when Ruben Bain, yes, Mr. Ruben Bain, ran down Cade Klubnik and forced him out of bounds, made the tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and sealed the game for them. Emory Williams had a shaky start in the first half of the game, which is expected because he's a freshman, and you had to get accustomed to the freshman abilities and then allow the game to process. And while the defense was still doing their thing, keeping them in the game, you got to see a little bit of things starting to open up. Now, I have to give Rashard Smith all this credit because he had a heck of a run early in the game. He had I think it was a 90-yard run to set up the first score for the Hurricanes. Don Chaney was solid also. He had 63 yards rushing. A.J. Allen was also solid. He had 54. So they had a lot of balance in this game, a lot of balance on the run. That's something that going against a good Clemson defense was pretty sound. Jacoby Young caught on later on. He had 76 yards. Rashard Smith also had 36 yards. Strucker had 26, and he was 7-7. He was targeted 7 times and caught 7 passes. Jacoby George, that was the one interception on a big play. If Jacoby had stayed right instead of curling in the middle, and when Emory had thrown the ball to him, that probably wouldn't have been an interception. That was Emory Williams' only lone interception and one touchdown, which that touchdown was to Kobe Young. But nevertheless, the Miami team needed this win after they failed to beat North Carolina and they failed to beat Georgia Tech. If they had lost this game, it would have been bad sailing for the rest of the season. Now Miami goes in. Miami plays. They got they got Virginia at home this weekend at 3:30. A team that that just beat North Carolina, and they only 2-5. Miami can't have another letdown because they 5-2. They can't have a letdown. They can't have that letdown at all, and they need to continue to ride because it's going to be pitiful. But nevertheless, Miami got to take this momentum. They got to take this and go in there. There was a lot of things been done in this game, like pressure Cade Klubnik, what I'm saying, doing the things that they do. So it's really good to see that the Miami Hurricanes bounce back after that loss to North Carolina and be able to. I wish they had won all 3 of those games. They would have been undefeated heading into that that Florida State matchup. That would have been easier for me, but nevertheless, they still have a chance to the ACC because you still got Georgia, you still got North Carolina that still don't look as strong. Florida State has been riding high. If you could get North Carolina with 3 losses, then you have a shot. But you got to beat everybody else on your schedule as well to even make that possible. But nevertheless, the Miami Hurricanes look very, very pressure. And Mr. Ruben Payne has been ACC Defensive Player of the Week and ACC Rookie of the Week. So he got 2 honors this week. So that's very, very important. I'm really glad to see that. Really glad that he has stepped up and been a part of this defense. Also, Bain has been a breakout performer for the Hurricanes Saturday night in a double overtime win. Bain totaled a season-high 8 tackles, which also include 2 sacks and 1 strip sack. The freshman started and led Miami with 2 quarterback hurries, wrecking havoc into Clemson backfield. And that's what we need, and that's what we did against North Carolina. But we did not, in the second half, adjust to what North Carolina was doing with the up-tempo. And we had adjusted to that, we would have beat North Carolina. We would have beat North Carolina. Right now, Miami could have been undefeated right now. But nevertheless, we're 5-2. I'm taking that. So, but they cannot have a letdown playing Virginia this weekend because Virginia just beat North Carolina. So we don't need that. But nevertheless, the Miami Hurricanes finally got the monkey off their back after 13 seasons of beating Clemson. And maybe this is a tie that can. A game like this could turn the tide for Miami, honestly, because these are momentum shift games. These are the games that prepare you for. You could get a New Year's Six bowl, a high bowl. You could be highly ranked. You could get back in the national ranking. This all depends on how you finish in the season. So Miami, take them mishaps and make it more formidable. Christine Charles, she tweeted and said that now. We shift gears to football. Canes Mario Cristobal is checking in now with his weekly press conference and is set to host Virginia on Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium. And so, with that being said, if they go in there and play sound football and beat these guys, then they got 2 weeks on November 11th. They have Florida State, and then they have Louisville, which, they should beat Louisville, and Boston College is 4-3. So, NC State 4-3. So Miami has to win the rest of their games. They got to win the rest of their games because this is going to see where they're at precisely. They're going to see where they're at because North Carolina has Georgia Tech, which Georgia Tech could pose some problems for them. You know what I'm saying? And then they got a Duke team that probably might pose problems for them too. Then they got Clemson that probably going to pose problems for them too. Then NC State. So they don't have Florida State. So North Carolina ain't really out the woods, being honest with you. Georgia Tech and Duke played pretty well. I think Duke might be an upset team. Clemson might be that upset team too. Now that they realize. So I think honestly, North Carolina could lose. They could lose 2 games. Let me see the standings right now. ACC standings. Miami is 1-2 in the conference. If they win the rest of their conference games, if Miami win the rest of their conference games, let's see. If Miami win the rest of their conference games, let me see, that'd be 2, 3, 4, 5. They could be 5-3 in their conference. I think that's the most likely probably end up having because I don't think they're gonna beat Florida State, but you never know. Never know. They could go 6-2, 5-3 in the conference. That would be really, really good. Because right now, over on the conference, Florida State is undefeated. Louisville has 1 loss. Boston College has 2. Clemson has 3. Miami has 2. So Miami has to win in the conference to move up the ranks in that conference division because right now, Florida State, Louisville is second to Florida State. And then it's North Carolina, Duke, and Virginia Tech. So, hey, Miami has a chance to move up that ranks. They just have to beat them teams and hope for North Carolina to lose again. If North Carolina can lose again, even though they're going to have that tiebreaker over Miami, so you really want North Carolina to lose 2 more times. They need to lose 2 more times to get up there. But nonetheless, a great win for this Miami Hurricanes franchise. I mean, not franchise, but Miami Hurricanes team, because they definitely needed this. This is a signature win, a long time coming. They got 2 signature wins on their schedule this year now, the Texas A&M and the Clemson game. Now, they could have easily had that, like I said, the North Carolina game. That would have gave them 3 signature wins. And then if they lost to Florida State, it wouldn't really matter, because then you would have still had a tiebreaker over North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So, but all hope is not lost yet. But if anything, Miami probably will finish 3rd in the conference, which they'll still get them a good bowl and everything like that. But until then, guys, this your Canes on the daily wrap-up report from my Miami Hurricanes. Great win Saturday. Look forward to see you 3:30. Not before the game, but tomorrow, Canes on the daily, where we'll do a full wrap-up report, do some news analysis and stuff and everything like that. Breakdown of this past weekend. I still have my video vlog of the North Carolina game with Miami. I still need to get out, so I'll be working on that too. But until then, go you. We out.